talk about the composition of two functions. Now we can write composition as f of g of x. The little circle inside, the small circle, just means of. So we say f of g of x is equal to f parentheses g of x. So let's look at a question. If f of x is equal to 2x minus 5 and g of x is equal to 2 minus x, let's find f of g of x. Well, in order to do that, we can use our definition, f parentheses g of x. Well, what that means, what we have to first do is plug in g of x. Well, we know g of x is 2 minus x. So we're finding what's the function evaluated at 2 minus x. What this means is now in my function f equation, I'm going to plug in wherever I see x in that equation, I'm going to plug in 2 minus x. In order to do that, so I'm going to take f of x is 2x minus 5. Wherever I see x, I'm going to plug in 2 minus x. So I get 2 parentheses 2 minus x, and then minus 5. So that's what we have here. 2 times 2 minus x in parentheses minus 5 on the outside. And then all we do is simplify down using the distributive property. We'll get 4. 2 times 2 is 4. And then 2 times a negative x is a negative 2x, and then minus 5. So we get 4 minus 2x minus 5. And then what we do is combine like terms and simplify down, writing in descending order. So if I write it in descending order, I'll have negative 2x, combining like terms together, minus 1. So final answer is negative 2x minus 1. That's finding the composition of f of g of x. Well, let's do the same thing, but now we'll find it in the opposite way. We'll find g of f of x. So we'll assume f of x is still 2x minus 5, and g of x is still 2 minus x. Let's find g of f of x. Well, using that same idea, g of f of x is the same thing as g parentheses f of x. So we're going to plug in f of x into here, and we'll get g of 2x minus 5. We just plug in f of x. And what we do is take the function g of x, 2 minus x, and plug in wherever we see x, we're going to plug in 2x minus 5. So we should have 2 minus, and then parentheses, 2x minus 5. We have 2 minus, and then we plug in x was 2x minus 5. Using the distributive property, we have a negative on the outside of the parentheses. We have to distribute that negative throughout. So we'll carry down the 2, and then we'll write negative 2x, and then plus 5. So we should have 2 minus 2x plus 5. Simplifying down and combining all like terms, we have negative 2x, we'll write it in descending order, and then plus a 5 and a plus 2 is positive 7. So we should end up with negative 2x plus 7. Now you see from what we originally started with, g of f of x and f of g of x are totally different. When we did f of g of x, our final answer was negative 2x minus 1. But when we did g of f of x, our final answer was negative 2x plus 7. So they don't necessarily need to equal each other. They mean totally different things. F of g of x does not need to equal g of f of x. It does in some cases, but not in all. And this is an example where it didn't work in all cases.